Bali coming out of the penalty box to sweep up. That ball long downfield, out for a throw. They finished second in the qualifying campaign for Qatar 2022, behind Egypt. But a long way behind the Egyptians. 9 automatic. These teams looking to join. Gabon coming forward again, great running down the right, and the referee's given the free kick here. Sadly, Sanusi penalised. Osimhen is coming back to protest to the referee. Sanusi into the challenge on Openda. It's been a bit of a nuisance, Gross Openda. Plenty of Gabon fans here in the stadium in Rabat today, outnumbering their Nigerian counterparts by some distance. All the way across the face of goal. It's come off the defender now. What's the referee giving here? Mario Lemina and Equanimonga, Gabon players, I think clearly indicating they feel there was a shout for a penalty in there. It looks like Apindangoye, the number 2, is possibly having his shirt pulled. All eyes on the referee. All players surrounding him is going to influence his decision. This is being checked by VAR. The on-field, and it's fair to assume that had Apindangoye been completely free of the attention. These are such big decisions. In this case, could be talking about the difference between having your World Cup dreams ended and remaining on course to qualify for a first ever World Cup, as would be the case with Gabon. It's taken a long time to study this, aware of the gravity of the decision. Clearly wondering if the attacking player, in this case I think that could have got on the end, but it's not conclusive. It's hard to be absolutely. Sure. be sure to make the call. That's why he's celebrating that decision by Bright Masai. Samuel, a shake of the head from Abida Goye, who's the Gabon player involved, the very experienced 33-year-old centre-back playing in Turkey these days. He thought that was a penalty, but it's not been given. Touched on by Eaglesi, looking for Osimhen. Into the middle of the game now after that break in play. Across the cover. If you bring it back here for a free kick in midfield. Goalless between Nigeria and Gabon then. With the teams that have already qualified, Mohamed Salah's Egypt, Senegal, who firmly established as a powerhouse in African international football for some time now, South Africa. Great to see Bafana heading back to the World Cup, finishing above Nigeria in Group C. Cape Verde, what an incredible achievement it was for them to qualify as winners of their group. Morocco, semi-finalists last time. Cote d'Ivoire, the reigning African champions. Algeria, Tunisia, the Black Stars of Ghana have all qualified for the World Cup. The draw, remember, taking place just a few weeks away. 3 weeks tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Draw for the Inter-Confederation playoffs, by the way, will take place next week. We don't know who plays who in those playoffs, depending on your FIFA ranking. Either have to go 2 games or just one. Wanga trying to force his way through, passing covering. Time then for a change. Double substitution. Ademola Lookman, last year's African Footballer of the Year. Samuel Chukwueze, 2 players coming off here. Moses Simon, we thought we'd see him entering the fray at some point. Number 15 with Paris FC in Ligue 1 in France. Chidera Ejuke of Sevilla in Spain coming on as well. So fresh legs in attack as we hit the hour mark here in Rabat. Atalanta, Chukwueze went for Fulham this season in England, and it's Simon and Ejuke coming on. So not really a surprise that Shell has opted to freshen things up on the flanks. Sapenda, who is putting in a lively performance in his senior international debut. Somebody who's played club football in the lower leagues in France. Until Uyuma currently appealing to the fourth official down there, the Gabon coach. Celebrating 2 years in charge and well-travelled playing career. Uyuma represented Gabon at international level too. Panthers still making life very uncomfortable for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Nigeria must have been hoping that they'd done the really hard part by turning around a flagging qualifying campaign. Get back to where they were in June of last year. They drew 3, lost 1 of their first 4 matches. Games that overall you'd be expecting them to win. Into the challenge, referee's going to bring it back here. Gabon free kick. Didi need to be a little bit careful. Jacques Ecomier is the Gabon player making a run forwards and right back. Pushed over by Didi. Standing Wavali organising his defence. How do we get a breakthrough goal in normal time? Standing over this. Helping out defensively for the Nigerians. So they haven't mastered the free kick delivery course, and that one is headed behind by Victor Osimhen. Still hasn't really had a chance to grasp back in this game. The rain continues to fall here in Moroccan capital. Gabon give their fans last this end of the stadium something to shout about. It will be a massive moment if Gabon can take the lead against the Nigerians. The delivery from the left, deep ball is behind flipped in for another corner. Could just arouse the supporters of the Panthers here. Minutes in, Nigeria haven't created anything really in the second half. It's Gabon who've been more friendly. Mobali collects that ball. Mobali, the keeper of closest club football in South Africa. Got behind for another Gabon corner. Straight into the arms of Wavali that time. Looks to set off the counter. He will be. Big switch of play. This is Ejuke. Sevilla winner. Firstly on as a substitute. He could pick out a teammate in the middle. That was Alcine there. That's player for the Nigerians. 37 now, the Gabon captain. All league football in France these days, but it's a fast experience, so precious to the Panther side. There's a side that will take this players forward for the Nigerians. Too many going forward, the Nigerians. To keep that in play. It's a stalemate at the moment. Nigeria were not in a strong position at all in their qualifying for the couple of months ago. It's always been pretty much unthinkable, the idea of not making it to the World Cup. Mali and Gabon have considered themselves in a first ever appearance at the World Cup. A million miles away on occasions. The qualifying tournament in 2018, they were participants in the final round of group qualifying, but ended up third in their section. A difficult group there, Morocco and Cote d'Ivoire. Of course, it's always been incredibly tough in Africa to qualify for the World Cup with a limited number of places. Here we come again. Captain play. Midway through the second half, then in Rabat. Those two teams will be back here in Morocco just over a month's time for the African Cup of Nations. Will be renewing acquaintances with Cote d'Ivoire, having been in the same World Cup qualifying group as them, Cameroon and Mozambique as well. Nigeria based not too far away from here, the city of Fez. They play Tunisia, Uganda, Tanzania. Tanzania across the box, that's going to be the 23rd of December, but fair to say that they failed to make it through these playoffs to keep their World Cup bid alive. They will be coming here in a somewhat depressed mood. Runners up again from last year. It might be John losing to the Elephants in the final. Going to the left, Aussie man, it's just behind him. Well played by the Bender, going into Lamina. And Didier Ndong. Connected, can play possession from Didier Ndong. It's become more and more like a malnutrition. This match ticked out. Chances of recovering from a mistake will be getting slimmer. Things will get more and more tense. Could pull all the way to penalties if needed this evening here. Already going to be pushing 7 p.m. here at Rabat, the time, normal time, which is a conclusion. Nigeria coming into the one to the left, top of the shoulder. The ball too high for Aussie men. Being able to provide service to the number 9 in the second half. Chances are that this game will just about run into the second semi-final to come later on. Facing off that second match, played like that as well. Not at the same stadium, it was taking place at the Gabon stadium. Michel, his stress was just getting to him a little bit. Celebrated his 48th birthday with the squad in camp on Tuesday. Back to Bassi. It's right beside Samuel. The pass easily cut out. Picked up by Lamina. Penda has made one appearance in the French top flight. FC Lorient a couple of years ago, but these days playing fourth division, the Girondins de Bordeaux, a very famous club, of course, in France, but they tumbled down the division due to their financial predicament. Handling the step up, though, to this level very well indeed on his Gabon bow. From Ndini's Nigeria being thwarted at the moment by this Gabon team. Well, under a bit of pressure. A very slow start in the second half, and just the flow of the game has never really returned after the interval. I think that long stop in play for the VAR check for the potential penalty has had a bit of a negative influence on proceedings in that sense. Stanley Wabali may require some treatment here. Thierry Mouyuma looking down the line towards his substitutes. Played for Gabon at the AFCON in 2000, by the way, Thierry Mouyuma. Looks like a change is in the offing for the Panthers. Well, this is how Wabali got hurt. He's been put under pressure. I think he's just felt something go, possibly a muscle issue. Closed down by Andre Biogo-Poko. Was he caught the right ankle, followed through by the Gabon player, Stanley Wabali. Starting goalkeeper, trying to run to the AFCON final last year, has been the first choice ever since. And he's calling for a change. He's not going to be able to continue by the looks of it, which is a big blow for the Nigerians. Two substitute goalkeepers available for the Super Eagles. Maduka Okoye of Udinese in Serie A in Italy is the obvious contender to come on. Wabali was calling for the change. Let's just see if he changes his mind and tries to continue. It looks like the signal is he made towards the bench that he will try to carry on. It's beginning to look like one goal will perhaps decide this, if we are going to have one goal in normal time. Wabali looking like he's ready to try to carry on. Gabon meanwhile preparing a double substitution then. So Royce Openda is making way for another French-based starlet by Neo. Belongs to Olympique Lyonnais, one of the biggest French clubs. He's just 19. Andre Biogo-Poko coming off as well. It's Noah Lemina, who is just 20, the younger brother of Mario, joining his brother on the pitch now. So Openda and Andre Biogo-Poko off, Neo and Lemina on. Neo, who scored against Burkina Faso, so Burundi, I should say, in that last group qualifier last month. Fresh legs in the final third for Gabon, so important for them. I sense they'll be the happier of the two sides with the current situation. Into the final quarter of an hour of normal time there. 0-0 between Nigeria and Gabon. World Cup dream could stay alive for only one of these teams at the end of this game today, but it may well require extra time, even penalties. Now then, this could be the chance for the Nigerians, gifted to them. And they've taken it. Akor Adams turning the ball in. It's a disaster for Gabon. And the Super Eagles are ahead. Oh, horrible, horrible moment for Aaron Apinbangoye and for Gabon. And all credit to Akor Adams for keeping a cool head in that situation. Well, there was no pressure whatsoever on the defender here. He had a bit of time, too much time in the end to make his mind up. And just playing that ball into the danger zone, leaving the goalkeeper completely stranded, and the Sevilla striker Akor Adams, who scored on his Super Eagles debut last month against Lesotho, turning the ball in there to make it Nigeria 1, Gabon 0. Just at a point where you were sensing that it would take perhaps a mistake for a goal to come, and that one goal might be enough to decide it. Is that the goal that sends the Nigerians into the playoff final? Akor Adams emerging as the hero, pouncing on that needlessly given away ball back away from Apinbangoye. And what a second half it's been for the Gabon defender, who felt he should have won a penalty at the other end at the beginning of the second half. His claim denied after a VAR check. And then losing possession with disastrous consequences. Gabon now running out of time to turn this around. Just 11 minutes of the 19th to play. They're going to have to throw everything at the Nigerians, and they may well be picked off on the counter. Also then with the interception. Njuke, fresh legs of the substitute, back the way to Ndidi. Forwards. And Nigeria just need to make sure they avoid making a mistake. Gabon's good performances have usually come at home. They're very formidable indeed in front of their own supporters. They tend to play games at Franceville. Can be a bit tougher for them on their travels. Excellent campaign all round in the group phase, of course. Only Côte d'Ivoire taking anything off them. But really, this has been a step up. For them tonight, all the way in such a situation where you are liable to be punished, especially if the ball falls to a striker playing in La Liga in Spain. Akor Adams has not been prolific. Just 2 goals for his club this season. One of them came against Barcelona. He's not had too many starts, admittedly, but he was alert to that ball. Well, Luis Marius and Baba, who made a couple of superb saves in the first half to deny Victor Osimhen, but he was completely stranded in that situation. Dangoye is such an experienced defender, crestfallen after that mistake. Time is Gabon's enemy now. That ball is fed through towards Osimhen. He's in behind Osimhen. Maybe could have taken a little bit more time there, but the offside flag up against the Galatasaray striker. Had gone a little bit too soon there. Victor Osimhen. He wants to get to first World Cup. Nigeria just going to reinforce the midfield with the introduction of Franco Onyeka. To Adams, the goal scorer, coming off. A new start for the Nigerian national team. And they're just going to beef things up in the middle. Onyeka coming on as the player who scored the crucial late goal, decisive late goal in the end in the last match against Benin last month to secure Nigeria's place in the playoff. Six goals. Penalised. Chidera Juke. Players that Nigeria brought on in this second half. Returning to the Super Eagles fold for the first time since the AFCON in 2022 in Cameroon. Nearly 4 years on. Has always been a real depth of attacking talent available to the Super Eagles, that's for sure. Goal today, not coming from Osimhen, coming after Ademola Lookman had gone off the field. Here's Eaglesi. Frederick covering, turning it to Nwabali. Nigeria's hopes of reaching the last World Cup, of course, ending in agonising fashion in that playoff against Ghana, which they were beaten on away goals. Another tense affair in this playoff tonight. Hadn't previously lost against Gabon, either in World Cup qualifying 2 decades ago or at the AFCON in 1994, the year when Nigeria first appeared at the World Cup. Great footballing nation, Nigeria. Their World Cup record is good in terms of making it to the finals in recent times. They've never gone beyond the last 16, a stage in which they've appeared 3 times. Lamina with the shot, it's gone in, it's taken a deflection. Gabon on a level in the 89th minute. Oh, incredible scenes here. It looked like Gabon's World Cup dream had died after Akor Adams put Nigeria in front with time running out, but now it appears that they've forced extra time. With a little bit of luck, Nwabali making the gesture to point out that he was beaten by the deflection. Just a hopeful long ball forward. It came off the head of Osai Samuel. And there's the shot from Mario Lemina, one of Gabon's most experienced players. Almost certainly would not have gone in without that deflection. The lucky break they were looking for. Mario Lemina of Galatasaray makes it Nigeria 1, Gabon 1. And there's still some way to go in this playoff semi-final. The goal is credited to Mario Lemina. But make no mistake, the deflection there was decisive, and we're going to have 11 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game. Long, long way to go yet. Iwobi and Juke ball into the middle. Now Gabon will have the bit between their teeth. In fact, it's 12 minutes of stoppage time. I think we had a minute added to that with the celebrations for the goal. You might have expected it to come from maybe Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang or Bouanga, but instead Mario Lemina is the hero for the Panthers, and they can still do this. Swept forward by Baba. Well, a real punch in the gut for the Nigerians. Still, they've had to negotiate all this stoppage time. Maybe you can focus their minds. A match which has really come. Galatasaray. But wide of the far post.